In a landmark 1979 Stanford University study, two groups of participants, one supporting capital punishment and one opposing it, were shown the exact same set of mixed and ambiguous evidence about its effectiveness as a deterrent. The result? Both groups left the experiment more convinced of their original position. They did not see the evidence. They saw a reflection of their own beliefs. This isn't a flaw in their character. It is a fundamental feature of the human brain. And it is the silent killer of investment returns. In the next 10 minutes, you will learn the psychological mechanics of confirmation bias, how this invisible force shapes your financial reality, and a three-step intellectual framework used by the world's most rational thinkers to systematically dismantle it and make decisions based on evidence, not emotion. Confirmation bias is the natural human tendency to search for, interpret, favor, and recall information in a way that confirms or supports one's pre-existing beliefs. It is an unconscious, automatic process of fitting reality to our opinions, rather than the much harder work of fitting our opinions to reality. This bias is not a sign of low intelligence. It is a feature, not a bug, of our evolutionary past. For our ancestors, quickly reaching and reinforcing a group consensus was a powerful survival tool. Agreeing on the location of a threat or a food source was far more important for survival than a nuanced philosophical debate. The dissenter often became lunch. But in the modern, data-rich world of finance, this ancient mental shortcut is a catastrophic liability. It builds a powerful filter between you and objective reality, and this filter operates in three distinct layers. Biased search. You actively seek out information that supports your thesis. If you are bullish on a stock, you will Google reasons company X is a good investment. You will not Google bear case for company X. Biased interpretation. You interpret ambiguous or neutral information as supporting your view. A mixed earnings report with some good and some bad news is viewed through a positive lens as mostly encouraging. Biased recall. You selectively and vividly remember the times you were right, while the memories of your mistakes become fuzzy and distant. This three-headed monster of biased search, interpretation, and recall creates a powerful echo chamber inside your own mind, making it nearly impossible to see your own errors. So, how does this theoretical flaw manifest in the real world, costing investors billions? The mechanical result of confirmation bias is a self-reinforcing feedback loop of conviction. Theory: the echo chamber effect. You begin with a hypothesis. Your bias then directs you to find evidence that supports it. This new evidence strengthens your original belief, which in turn makes you seek out even more confirming evidence, and so on. This loop is then supercharged by modern technology. Social media and search engine algorithms are literally designed to identify your existing beliefs and feed you a perfectly curated stream of content to reinforce them. Your personal echo chamber quickly becomes a global one. Analogy: the partisan news consumer. Imagine an individual who only consumes news and opinion from sources that align with their political party. They watch one cable news channel, read one newspaper, and follow like-minded commentators on social media. Over time, two things happen. First, their belief in their own side's correctness becomes absolute. Second, and more profoundly, they become genuinely incapable of understanding how any intelligent, well-meaning person could possibly hold an opposing view. Their reality has been so perfectly filtered that dissent seems not just wrong, but irrational. This is precisely what confirmation bias does to your investment portfolio. It insulates you from any and all contradictory evidence until it is too late. Example: the bull and the bear. Consider two investors analyzing the same company. Investor A is bullish. He believes the company's new product will be a massive success. He follows the CEO on social media, who is naturally optimistic. He reads glowing reports from analysts who have buy ratings. When the company's stock drops 10%, he interprets it as a buying opportunity and adds to his position, recalling a time this strategy worked in the past. Investor B is bearish. She believes the company is overvalued and its product is overhyped. She seeks out research from short sellers. She focuses on the high level of competition in the market. When the stock drops 10%, she interprets it as the beginning of a larger collapse, validating her thesis. Both investors believe they are conducting objective analysis. In reality, both are simply finding reflections of their pre-existing narratives. This is why disciplined, process-driven wealth management is so critical. It provides an external system to counteract our internal flaws. Knowing about the bias is one thing, defeating it is another. There are two common failure modes. Pitfall number 1. The research illusion. This is the most common trap. An investor has an emotional gut feeling about a stock. They then spend hours online researching it, but all they are really doing is collecting articles and opinions that justify the decision they have already made. This is not research. It is the construction of a permission slip. Pitfall number 2. The backfire effect. When you are deeply committed to a belief, being presented with contradictory evidence can sometimes, paradoxically, strengthen your original conviction. The mental discomfort of being wrong is so great that you attack the new evidence and dig even deeper into your initial belief. Recognizing that your own mind is a flawed instrument is the first step toward wisdom. But how do you systematically override this faulty programming? The pros use a specific set of mental tools. The advanced strategy, the Disconfirmation Toolkit. The goal of a rational investor is not to try to be unbiased, an impossible task, but to build a systematic process of disconfirmation. You must actively try to prove yourself wrong. Seek the steel man. A straw man argument is when you misrepresent your opponent's position to make it easier to attack. A steel man argument is the opposite. Before you are allowed to make an investment, you must seek out the strongest, most intelligent, most evidence-based argument against your position, and you must be able to articulate it as clearly and convincingly as if you believed it yourself. If you cannot defeat the steel man argument, you are not allowed to invest. Conduct a pre-mortem. This technique, developed by psychologist Gary Klein, is profoundly effective. Before you invest, imagine that it is 1 year in the future, and the investment has failed catastrophically. Write a detailed, specific story explaining exactly what went wrong. This exercise bypasses the ego's protective filter. Instead of asking, "How can I be right?" it forces you to ask, "Where am I vulnerable?" and "What am I missing?" Keep an investment journal. Your memory is a biased liar. It will rewrite history to make you feel smart. A journal is the objective truth. For every investment you make, write down your thesis, your expected outcome, and the key factors you are watching. When you review your journal months or years later, you cannot hide from your mistakes. It forces you to confront your flawed thinking and learn from it. Let's distill this into the 3 essential principles for overcoming this bias. Your mind is a biased filter. Confirmation. Bias is the unconscious tendency to seek, interpret, and recall information that supports your existing beliefs. It is the most powerful and destructive force in investing. It creates a self-reinforcing echo chamber. The bias operates through a 3-layer filter of biased search, biased interpretation, and biased recall, which is then amplified by modern technology, trapping you in your own narrative. Fight bias with process. The advanced strategy is to build a systematic disconfirmation toolkit. Actively seek the steel man argument against your position. Conduct a pre-mortem to imagine failure in advance, and keep an investment journal to defeat your biased memory. You cannot trust your gut. You can only trust your process. If this analysis provided you with real value, invest a single click in the subscribe button to get daily access to the Codex. Knowledge is the new capital. We'll see you tomorrow.